another day on this channel. You're highly welcome. It's always a pleasure to have you. Like I always say, you're highly welcome. I hope you've been having a good week. I hope you've been well. I hope you've been living a stress-free life. Someone might say, is that possible? Well, even though it's not possible to cancel out every kind of stress, it is possible to manage yourself to be well at more times than not. Okay, so before we go on, I'll just like to say, please subscribe to this channel. Click on the red button at the bottom right of your screen, and if you like any of our content, please click on the thumbs up button, the like button, and like. And also share to your friends. You never can tell who would gain from this. If you have any comments about any of our videos, please feel free to comment. Okay, feel free to comment. I mean, it's your channel. This channel was made especially for you, for your wellness. So I want to hear from you. Okay, today we are going to be talking about coughs. Yes, how to get rid of that cough. A very simple way to get rid of that cough. Okay, I would say it again. You'll probably be hearing this in almost every of my video. We are not doctors here. Okay, I cannot tell you that I can treat you of a cough and all of that, but I can tell you that I can give you some remedies that have worked for me and worked for other people that I know, and therefore can work for you. I also am aware that people are different, bodies are different. What works for one person might not work for the other, at least not in the exact same way. But I can tell you that you can give it a try. Every remedy that I'll bring to you here are harmless, or every remedy here is harmless. Okay, I make sure that I keep it simple. I make sure that I use the basic things that would not cause any kind of problems for you. Okay, so stay tuned and you're going to get a solution for that cough. To start with, the solution for this cough requires just 3 ingredients. Remember, we're keeping it simple here, just 3 ingredients. So the first ingredient for this solution, if you have ever done any other research, you would find different remedies, different solutions, different natural remedies, but I'll be bringing you this one live from your kitchen. Okay, live from your kitchen. So these are basic things that you probably will have in your kitchen already. Number one is our good old onions. Our good old onions. Now, I'm aware that there are different colors of onions, different kinds of onions. You have the spring onions, you have the regular bulbs, you have the purple onions, white, and different colors, different types, and all of that. And they are spicy in their own different ways, and they are all effective in their own different ways as well. But you see, this particular solution, for this one, I use the red. Some people call it red, but it's actually purple. The purple onions. Okay, the purple onions are dark. It's dark purple. Okay, so that's you can call it indigo. I think that's the shade, indigo. That onion is what I use, okay, for my cough solution. Now, onion is antibacterial. It has antibacterial properties. You can use it for several other things. You can use it on your skin. You can use it on you eat it. And sometimes people don't like to eat it raw because of the smell. It's hard to get the smell off your hands when you use it. When you cut it up, it's hard to get the smell off your breath. So I'll just say that It's a solution that, since you're using onions for this solution, you might just want to use it maybe during the weekends when you'll be home, or at night, most likely at night, okay, not in the daytime. But there is something else. Now, there's something else. There are things that you can do to mask the smell, the smell, it has a sulfuric smell of onions. Okay, there are things, one or two things you can do here and there. So hopefully some of the ingredients that I'm going to be mentioning would help. Okay, they'll do something to mask that smell, okay, for those of us who don't like that smell. And also, I know that onion is spicy. Some people cannot. For me, I can chew my onions. I mean, I can grab it like an apple and crunch, and enjoy my onion. It's not a big deal for me. But if you cannot do that, it's fine. You can just do the best you can. So I'm just going to be telling you the ingredients, and I'm going to be telling you how to prepare it. Okay, because I really am not expecting you to take your onion bulb and crunch it like me. But in the way you can, in the way I'm going to give you, I'm going to show you here, you can actually just prepare the solution and take. So our second ingredient is thyme, or thyme. T-H-Y-M-E, thyme. This is also another staple for some in their kitchens. They always have thyme. They have curry. They have thyme, especially in this part of the world. You have curry. You have thyme in your kitchen. Most of the time, you use it to cook your stews. So thyme is also very good. It's a good herb. It's good for respiratory issues and all of that. We're going to be dealing more on that in the course of the channel. I'm sure you would have been hearing me say this a lot, because a lot is coming your way. So look for the video on how else to use thyme. But for this simple cough solution, we're going to be using thyme. That's our second ingredient. Now the third ingredient is cinnamon. Cinnamon is so useful. I mean, some people don't even know what cinnamon is, and some people don't know what it's used for. Some people use it for some things and they don't know it's used for other things. But you see, cinnamon is very, very good for respiratory issues as well. Okay, so I mentioned three ingredients, but I'm gonna add a fourth one, okay, because some of us are sweet tooth. We don't like anything that tastes herbal or something. But so if you're that kind of person, okay, my fourth ingredient for you is going to be honey. Honey is going to give you a sweet taste. Honey is going to give you also medicinal antibacterial properties that will help respiratory issues. So honey is the fourth ingredient in this solution. Now this is how to prepare. Your onions, you take your onions. For me, this is the way I prepare it. You could prepare it a little differently if you want. Meanwhile, back to cinnamon. I just remember that I didn't tell you this. Now cinnamon comes in sticks, just in sticks, cylindrical sticks, about this width. Some are bigger, okay. They come in sticks, and there are different types of cinnamon. But you see, just to keep things simple, like I said, I don't particularly like to go too far to look for anything. I like to have things around me. They are basically the stick and the powder. There's a powder as well, the powder form. For taste, they are basically the same. And for healing properties, they are also basically the same, okay. But the stick one is also said to be more effective than the powdered one. So if you can find the stick, all well and good. If you cannot find the stick, please use the powder. It's also effective. So back to our preparation. So what I do is that I take my onions, I chop them into pieces, maybe 4, 5, 6 pieces, depending on um, how I want to do it at the time. And then I pound the onions in a mortar. Your mortar and your pestle, I pound. Now if you cannot pound or you don't have a mortar, please, you can put it in your blender and grind. If you don't have a blender or you can't use it at the time, then put it in your then grate it. Okay, get a grater and grate it. Now if you don't have any of that, please get a sharp knife and cut it very finely into very tiny pieces in a way that you may see the juice coming out. Okay, very fine tiny pieces. Just keep slice in different ways. It doesn't have to be a particular shape, just slice in different ways. If you have a crusher, like a garlic crusher or something, cut in little pieces, little chunks, put it in your crusher and squeeze, crush it. Okay, so any which way. If you have a grinding stone I don't know if they still have that these days. If you have a grinding stone, put it on your grinding stone and grind it in any which way. Just make sure that you're crushing your onions. Okay, so you use your crushed onions, you crush your onions. The next is the thyme. Now pound the thyme. If you put your thyme in the blender, it's not likely to be crushed. I think the best way to get the essence out of the thyme is to pound it. So if you don't have a mortar, I guess it's still okay. Just have your thyme. Okay, you can't grate your thyme, you can't grind it or anything, so just have your thyme handy. Now the next ingredient, how you're going to prepare it, is your next ingredient is your cinnamon. Okay, so if you have the stick, you can grate it. You can use a tiny part of the grater and grate it. Okay, if you don't have that grater or that tiny part, you could also slice it very finely. Slice it very, very, very tiny. See, when you slice, am I going to be telling you or producing a video on how to slice very tiny? But when you slice them onto your chopping board, you could also, after slicing, you could also use your knife to beat on your board. You use your knife to beat. That's the sharp part of the knife. Use it to beat. So it helps to cut it into even tinier pieces. Okay, so when you slice your cinnamon, if you have the powdered cinnamon, all well and good, it's better, so you don't have to do anything. So now when you have these ingredients, and of course you have your honey, you have these ingredients, all you have to do is boil water, boil clean water, your drinking water. Just take your drinking water, boil your drinking water, and pour all your ingredients, your onion, your crushed onions, your thyme, crushed thyme or whole thyme, your cinnamon, crushed cinnamon or powdered cinnamon, in a cup or a jar or a flask. Okay, preferably a flask. I like to do mine in a flask. Okay, and then pour them in a flask and pour your hot water, your now boiled drinking water, into your flask to the top. Yeah, and then pour a bit of the honey to your taste. Pour a bit of honey. I don't particularly use honey all the time, but I like to use honey, but I don't mind that it's not sweet. What I mind is that the cough goes. So I don't mind that it's not sweet, but if you can't really stand the taste, which is not bad, because there's a sweetening ingredient already in that mix. Even if you're not using honey to sweeten or for its medicinal properties, the cinnamon on its own has some sweetness. So the mix, the solution is not bitter or is not so, the cinnamon on its own. And you should know that onions also has its own sweetness. Okay, so the cinnamon has its sweetness, onion has its sweetness, so everything combined, it's not a very bad taste. Okay, but if you still can't stand it, then use your honey. And honey too has its medicinal properties, so it's great all the way. So after combining all the ingredients in your flask, pour your hot water into the flask. Fill the cup up. Okay, all you need for a flask of about 1 liter is just 1 onion and maybe a cup. Cinnamon is quite strong, so please don't use like a tablespoon or something. Just measure about half teaspoon or 1 teaspoon, depending on the size of your mug or your flask. You could just use, if it's a cup, if it's just a cup of about 50 cl, you could use about a quarter to half teaspoon of cinnamon, and you could use half an onion or a quarter of an onion. Okay, and you could use, for the thyme, you could use half teaspoon of thyme. Okay, so that you don't make it too strong. If you want to make it strong, you use 1 teaspoon, not a heaped teaspoon, like 1 level teaspoon of thyme, 1 level teaspoon of cinnamon powder, and then you use 1 onion, 1 medium-sized onion, because they are in sizes. So you use 1 medium-sized onion, and it goes in about 75 cl or 50 cl cup or flask. That's going to be very strong. Okay, so I recommend that you do all this in 1 liter, in a 1 liter flask or 1 liter cup or 1 liter bottle. Okay, have your 1 bulb of onion, 1 bulb of onion, just a medium size one, medium to big, not very big and not too, if it's very small onions, then you can use about 2. Okay, and then you use 1 level teaspoon, please, a teaspoon, not a tablespoon, a teaspoon of cinnamon. I told you that cinnamon is quite strong. This is to 1 liter of water. Okay, 1 level teaspoon of cinnamon, and then a level teaspoon of thyme. So that should be okay. That should be good enough for 1 liter. And if it's not strong enough for you, like I said before, you can make it a little stronger. You can add, just add a little more of that, of each and every one of it. So you can add your honey according to your taste. After putting all these ingredients into the cup and pouring your hot water in it, please cork it, cover it. That's why I like to use a flask. It's airtight, it's thermal, it keeps the water hot. Okay, what you're doing is that you're brewing it. So just, you don't want to cook it. I don't like to cook it over the fire so it retains its freshness, but I want to allow it to simmer. I want to allow it steam in the hot water. Okay, so it sits in the hot water, and you leave it there for some time, and then when you're sure that it's really, let's say you leave it for about 20 minutes thereabouts, and you start to take it. Now when you're taking this solution, you can drink it like tea. Okay, I'm sure that you can't finish 1 liter, 1 whole liter all at once, so you can take it in bits of like maybe 25 cl at a time, and that means you're going to be taking 1 liter like 4 times. Okay, you can drink it as often as possible. It's not harmful. Okay, so you can take some in the morning, maybe take divide it into 3. Take some in the morning, take some in the afternoon, take some at night. Okay, this 1 liter quantity of this solution can be taken through the day. All right, or you can make up to 2 liters that can take you through the day. So you can drink as much as you want. You don't have to measure a teaspoon of it and all of that. You can drink a cup, just about a 25 cl cup. You can drink a 25 cl cup at once and take it warm. It's even soothing. It's soothing to take it warm. You can also take it cool. Lukewarm, not cold. Okay, not cold. Don't put it in the freezer. Don't put it in the fridge. Just leave it in the flask and take it out of the flask. I think some flasks can retain heat for up to 24 hours and so on. So through the day, if your flask is up to 2 liters, you can make this solution for 2 liters. That means if you're using 1 medium-sized onion for 1 liter, when it's 2 liters, you have to use 2 medium-sized onions. So you double the measurement, and then you make for 2 liters. If your flask is that big, you make it that big, and then you use it over the day, 24 hours or more than 24 hours. It depends on how effective your flask is, if it still keeps it warm. Now, if you made so much and it's no longer warm, you can heat it up just a little bit. Don't cook it, please, so that the natural it retains its freshness. Okay, so don't cook it, just drink it warm, drink it hot, drink it warm. All right, please don't make the solution and keep it for like 3 days. I don't know about that. I can't guarantee you that. There are some natural remedies that you can actually keep for days. The older the better. But for this solution, I haven't tested that, keeping it for days and still using it. So I think you would want to just finish it within that day. Maximum it stays till the next day, okay, so that you don't have anything fermenting or you don't have another reaction, so just use it within the day, maximum 2 days, and then finish it up. Okay, so this solution has helped adult, child, has helped with night cough. If you had night cough, it's helped. It was once used on a child who had night coughs, and it silenced the night like magic, so please, if the cough is, if you've done this for over 3 days and the cough is still persisting, please contact your doctor. If you've done this for, no, seriously, if you've done this for 3 days or 2 days, if you do this and you do it right, by the second day you should see a change. You should see a reduction in the cough. Okay, it may not go immediately, but you should see a reduction in the cough. But if you've done it for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and the cough is still serious, please see your doctor. Okay, don't let the cough get too serious before you tackle it. Okay, and after using this solution, I would advise that you still see your doctor. Okay, this is a first aid solution. This is a solution that helps that night cough, because sometimes you could have the night cough and not be able to sleep. Sometimes you could have a child who has a night cough and is not able to sleep, and when the child cannot sleep, the mother cannot sleep as well. So you want to use this as first aid to tackle that cough, tackle that night cough, and then use it for 1 day, 2 days, until you are able to see your doctor, okay, who's going to prescribe a drug or diagnose what exactly is causing the cough. Okay, so this is my simple solution for coughs. Okay, thank you so much. If you like this, please don't fail to click on that like button. Subscribe to this channel for more and more information, and share with your friends. And please, if you've tried it, comment on the comment section. Tell me that this worked. Tell me how it worked. Tell me your own recipe, okay, so that we can learn from one another. Thank you so much. Stay well, stay blessed, and have a very beautiful life. God bless you.